energy reading. Please only take what resonates. Always leave the rest. Feel less, don't stress. Somebody's looking at their self, their attitude, their approach towards life, the mindset. They're looking at that stability. They're looking at their self. That's like that impulsive feeling, that action. They're having that higher awakening. They could be looking back to their relationships and now they was flighting, detached, and they was in that childlike spirit, running from their self. And now they're gaining that wisdom, balance, it's clarity of the mind. They're in their mindset, thinking, that sixth chakra. So when you get that activation, you're having that discernment. You start to analyze certain people that you're around and who's enabling you and who's causing you stress. That's about children, family members, friends, a feminine energy. They're identifying, they're getting clarity. They could gain wisdom. They could be in hermit, gaining this wisdom, using their intuitions as they was blocked in these low dense energies. That was all because of their habits and their secrets, because they was in that fight and flight mode, detached from their emotions, not in enabling and having boundaries in place. They were looking at their shadow side, and that's that shadow aspect of their self. They're looking now because they're doing the shadow work. That's when you've got to identify, you have to let go of what no longer serves you, and that's hide those hidden fears, habits, illusions, confusions, detached from your emotions, that inner perspective, and looking at the outer shell, because when you're projecting and what you're showing other people on the outside is not what you're feeling in those firm foundations to that heart. It's Cupid, it's a deep challenge. You have to address those emotions because it's challenging love. It could be testing you, your thoughts, those feelings, the way you act to react when you're around certain people, places, situations, because it's that foundation connecting to your heart, establishing family. You have to go back to that roots. It's that routine check. It's that root that's got to get checked, because if you don't check that root, that's going to affect you. It's going to block you. Everything's going to be filled numb. Confusion, illusions. Connect to the heart. That's the foundations. That's when you speak the truth. Have clarity. You're able to have boundaries in place. You know you're not running after certain things that's not going to enable you. You're doing right, identifying good from bad, encompassing, using your intelligence, connecting, being your true authentic self. That's you standing in your power, being brave, calm, cool, collective. You may have to analyze, to reflect, just to be able to refine, to be able to restore oneself, because that's looking at it's intense emotions about this commitment. Somebody could be having intense emotions with a commitment in regards towards you. Take this all as it resonates. They still stigmatizing you for your past old shit. So they could be still getting stigmatized, 555, that are awakening because of their devil energy. They was holding on to hold negative people, places and things. That's like that devil mindset when you're in your ego and you're thinking like you want to be like a rude boy. They want to be out there on the streets, partying, social. Everyone's got a social awareness of you, what you're doing, when you're doing, where you're doing it, who you're doing it with, causing confusion, fight and flight mode, aggression. You think you've got this wisdom, you haven't got that higher clarity because you're stubborn, you're vain, mind's insane, and it's confusion, not balance, not unable to go to grow. It's like you're procrastinating. Never date rich men. You're gonna make me fully know I need to get my game up. Money down when we're done. So you don't date rich men, because when you're broke and you ain't got that money and you're flossing and you're pretending to be something that you ain't, then it knocks you and knocks your confidence and your ego. Then you got to be able to look at yourself. Then you got to go into hermit, protect yourself, refine and restore yourself, come back brand new with a higher clarity and higher force. And then you start using your intelligence. Have to have that discernment. You know you can't socialise and start party the way I use partying and socialising, because your lifestyle and the way how you're living and what you're needing and wanting, two different things. Take it all as it resonates. Single parent household. My relationship, no attachment to women. All inner standing. I just didn't want a relationship. So they had attachment issues. They was in that fight and flight, external energies, childlike spirit, aggressive, controlling the narratives, trying to control the illusions to confusions. They was like runner, chaser, energetic, it all as it resonates. He's not a divine masculine, he's the page. So they was moving like a child in that childlike spirit. So there wasn't a divine masculine. They felt like Peter Pan. They didn't want to grow up. They just had that Jezebel spirit, Tinkerbell running after them. Cha-ching, yes, you're going to get that, and cha-ching. They're not realising they was old enough and eating off other people because they didn't have that clarity, that wisdom. They was in that 5, you was in that 7, you was balanced, you had the understanding about these relationships, you encompassed cycles. Now they're looking back, karmic cycles, gaining higher clarity in regards to who you are, they are. That's awareness. Everything he can do for me, I can do for myself. So you know, you wasn't taking up no rich man, because when that money's gone and you've got to be able to maintain that lifestyle, you know that everything that you can do it for yourself. So anything that anybody was doing for you, you was maintaining it, you was being able to do it for yourself. So whether they're there or not, you're still balanced, you're still moving forward. When I tell you I'm done, I'm done. So you know, when you was done with certain people, you was done. There was no going back. You said hit the road, Jack, because you've seen certain people's shadow sides of their self, and it's a commitment. So you're seeing the T, because the message is they're gaining that understanding now. That you don't date, you don't run back or follow back at people just because of what you got and holding on to people because you're in your ego and you're holding on, clinging on to assets, and you're doing these things in secret. Or because of legacies, you take that time to reflect, you get introspection, you learn about yourself, you gain certain skills. You're not a Jezebel, you're not running and idolizing bad mind. So you like all on social media and like, oh, I can see where that person's coming from. Yeah, from when they was younger and they always did that. Oh yeah, they got married to that person, and or when they was growing up, they no. You have got an understanding what that person was in your life for. That was to enable you to be able to grow, take that time out, reflect on yourself, gain introspection. That was inner wisdom. Yeah, you seen people was voracious. Yeah, you seen they was authentic. It inspired you. It gave you that understanding for you to be able to get that understanding. So enabled you to be able to grow, get it from a different perspective. Because now they see your side of the story. You weren't running back and chasing after people. You, that's it. And now they're saying you're irreplaceable. Because it's not a divine masculine, it's a page. They're looking at you because they was in that childlike spirit, and they say that the way that you love, no one can never be matched. So they may needed like a mother figure. They was always running and chasing because they didn't have that guidance. They can see you're a part of that destiny. They sabotage that because of their mindset, or because they was in that ego fight and flight mode, running with that aggressive state of mind because of these illusions, or because of confusions, what they had because of habits. Now they're gaining introspection, they're growing now, higher wisdom. They've been holding back, and they tell you, when I'm done, I should have expressed myself. So they ordered their self back when they should have expressed their self, but they was moving like a page. They was like running after golden calves and idolizing. This is a chaser. You could have been a chaser. I don't want to chase no more. You said I'm not holding back. When I'm done, I'm done. I'm not chasing no more. They're saying you, I ordered back because you, they was bitter. She don't care about your image. It's all about her. So they understanding now the person that they ran after somebody because it was Jezebel, had these secrets, 18 illusions, confusions, and now they're seeing the illusions because they was holding on for assets, house, cars, just to be socially aware and other people can see they didn't have the right moral compass. Their mindset, like for like, anything you can do and I can do it back. So they gaining understanding. These people that was around them, like for like, anything you can do, I can do it back. They could have left them for somebody else. They went and dated somebody who had more money and more better than them. It's like, you know, when you pick and pick till you pick shit. Fight fire with fire. You wasn't fighting fire with fire. You fighted your own fire with that passion. You ignited that spirit, got that awakening, have that love and compassion for yourself. Don't do to others that you don't want to do unto yourself. So you knew, you got that understanding, you let go. They was running after and chasing after golden calves, more than materialist aspects of life. That street life party. Street life ain't nothing but this bleak life. Now they're looking. Beggar gal in your energy. They had beggar gal in their energy that was making them feel like those irresistible, like, oh my gosh, and yeah, all because of what you have and what you haven't got. And now they're looking about the mindset. They can't help them and nurture them. They're gaining that understanding that you was caring, providing, supporting, you was balanced. They can see when you love hard. You don't see no one but your man. And now they can see they was holding back. So you had to be done. And they can see they're gaining that understanding. You was like 1 in a million. They was around people begging girls, so they was holding back because they had begging girl at the side of them. They made them feel like they was irresistible, like they was irreplaceable, like they was more than love, more than joy, more than they could ever have anything. I'm living my life for others. They effed me. So they ordered back. They should have expressed for you better. They lived their life for others and they effed them up because they was that shadow side. Now they're looking back. I had to continuously keep repeating myself. It was not a joke. You was serious. They bust joke. So you repeated yourself to the way how you felt. It wasn't a joke. You was serious. I like it like this. I've got manners and respect. I'm not holding on. I'm not chasing after this. It's about growing. It's having that understanding, that compassion, spiritual awareness, high awareness, gain philosophical knowledge. They may not have thought that you had the knowledge that you did. They may have thought that you didn't have that introspection and you was idealistic. Take it all as it resonates. They thought you was a fool because you wasn't able to be able to balance, and you was nurturing, you was caring, you had that love and compassion. They seen that they wasn't able to depend on you, so they could took advantage for depending on you because you had confidence. Serious. So funny. So when things was funny, you encouraged them, but they was a fool and they had the soft heart. They thought you was a fool because you had a soft heart, because you was caring, because you had compassion, because you was enabled and you had empathized with others. You've gone through emotions, you were able to encompass those emotions. You seen when certain people had that shadow aspect in their side of them, but you seen the good within inside of them. Now they're looking back towards you because they're speaking up. They're gaining that understanding. They maybe want to be able to speak up. Like for like, and anything you can do, I can do better. Certain people's trying to block you because the way you was speaking up and the way you was moving, people thought that they could speak up and do better than you, and they're gaining that understanding the way how the actions that they took. You had that clarity. They wasn't thinking. Now they're breaking. Now you broke or they broke your heart. They're feeling bankrupt now because they was around beggy girl, rinsing and drizzles. Bankrupt, deposit of 5 money. So money moves, smart decisions, strategic investments, building wealth, making money by my money works. So they thought they were smart when they was around beggy girl, really strategically making it for assets, trying to secure a property, some inheritance, so things in the loan. That was all because of their habits, their mindset, because their ego. They was driven like stability. It was about stability. They thought they was getting a status upgrade. That status upgrade ain't coming. They're looking back towards you and seeing you're that status upgrade. They got photoshopped. That's when you pick shit, when you're running after golden calves, those Jezebel spirits, and those starts itching. That's when you're looking for the things what are pretty on the outside, and you don't look a bit at the spirit and the heart. That's when you got to balance the physical as well as the spiritual, that internal as well as the emotional. Because when you start analysing, they got an understanding of your needs, your thoughts, what you like, what you don't like. Yeah, when we're out socialising, yeah, I like to party, but when I'm in my house, I like quiet. I don't want that thing. Yeah, I want like my house tidy. I don't want no noise. No, I don't want that running back and forth. No. Keep that quiet, because when I'm in pain, yeah, I can party, but the next 2 days I can't move. So they're understanding now. You're speaking up. They maybe want to speak up. They was running after golden calves. Until I do that, I didn't know nothing. So until they took their self and they went for these likes for likes and it was back and forth, they didn't have that understanding. They didn't know nothing because they didn't have that growth. Because they were stuck, or because of their habits, illusions, confusions, moon. That was all because of that love, and they didn't have that stability, and they was chasing values, all for what they valued: money and possession. They didn't value love, that care and nurture. They may never add that support or being able to use their intuitions for their self. They was all depending on other people because they were stubborn. Podcaster, losing voice. So they wanted you to lose your voice as podcaster. So they wanted you not to be able to speak. They're gaining that understanding. You could be gaining the understanding. People's doing like for likes and copying off you and showing off you, like you was chatting shit and they was more better than you, because it was about money moves and how you're making money, such as social media, TikTok, and going live and getting this money, and who get this and who's irreplaceable and who's doing that, because it was beggy yeah. You're not online. Like, yo, you guys, send me the money and send me the links. But if you want to subscribe, feel free to subscribe, because it's only about £4 and then you get a free reading, a little mini read every month. I just want to sit with my wife. So now they're looking now about these money moves. They may be trying to get their money up to be able to come and sit with you. They may be wanting to just go to run to their wife now, because they're looking at their partner and the illusions, the confusions. They're gaining higher clarity. They want to take that leap. They could be far from you, gain higher wisdom. All clear. Time to call it. So it's all clear. Time to call it. They're calling it now. This beggy girl is not driven by the masculine. They're trying to wake up. Was willing to make it work. She cheated on him. Big disrespect. She was living with a next man. Left him with kids. So they've seen they was around other people, beggy girl, constantly repeating themselves and going around the same circle. Then they've been left with the kids now. So they could see they've got illusions because certain people's holding on to them. You're going to gain eye clarity. They could have had to go to court because they're getting understanding. They may be ready to seek advice now, because this person was a fool. They was indecisive. They was restless, insincere. Take this all as it resonates, guys. They're gaining that introspection now as to who, where, what. Certain people took control of travel. They maybe want to travel towards you. They are very shallow. They don't even know they had surgery. I lied. So certain people could have upgraded their self through surgery. They lied. They're shallow. There was that shallow side. They thought, oh yeah, just like that golden calf, dressing up. We can all put a weave on. We can all put eyelashes on. And if you wear makeup, I ain't got no makeup on. So if you all wear makeup, that makeup underneath that shadow side of you, you're a fucking clone. You're a clown. You can shapeshift and pretend that you're something that you're not. We can all put clothes on and have that. But when you're going in down inside of your heart and your soul, that's a totally different person. That's when you haven't got that status upgrade and you get that status downgrade, and it's a dark night of that soul, and you have to look at that shadow side that you was being photoshopped and you wasn't being that true, authentic self because you was toxic. And then you realise that they picked up, and those karmics was a rebound, and they get these mass offs because they was fake. And they was side hustling, looking at you and watching you the way you're moving. They get vexed because you're self-made out here in these streets, and they're getting friend zone. Meanwhile, your situation is single. They was out there fake flexing, and you're just out here recharging, refining, restoring, renewing. You knew that the actions that they took, they didn't move with love. They was off balance, and it's shocking because why? They had all the hidden agendas for assets, cars, clothes, but they didn't see what was in that box. They thought they had that bag secured. Oh, meanwhile, they was two-faced. And now these boundaries are getting put in place because they didn't realise about soul contracts. That's called our Kashkit Records. 1809-99, higher wisdom, higher clarity, divine. It was all divinely guided from the divine. You had to have these illusions for the confusions because some people didn't have manners, they didn't have respect, they didn't have dignity. They was lying, cheating, committing adultery, sinning. They was spiritually blind. They didn't have that awakening. They didn't hear when Ikari Dickory Dot went up the clock and the mark strikes once and twice and gave them the spiritual box to get waken up. That's because they didn't have compassion, or because they was lost in the mind and the soul. They wasn't able to know because they didn't have understanding. It was them versus them. They had spiritual battles, and now they all of a sudden they want to slide up in your DM, and they will slide them in your divine feminines and masculines. They thought they was having this payback. Now all of a sudden you're getting that bitch slap right back into your face, because what goes around comes back around. Don't do to others that you wouldn't want to be done to yourself. We're adults out here in these streets, guys. So it's about time to grow up and stop being a bitter bitch, because that's what it is. It's a bitter bitch, right? It goes back far to your ancestral lineage, to your mum, to your dad. Why are you holding on to heartache, hurt and pain? It happened to you, for you to grow. To grow through those feelings, those emotions, for you to encompass energies. It's called resilience. Resilience is long heartache and pain. God grant me to serenity, to accept those things you can't change. Why? Now you need to get, they're wanting inspiration. They're wanting change because they're transforming. They're looking, how am I going to grow? Because now I'm going to gain this inner wisdom. They may need your teaching skills. They may see you as a guru. They may see you're enabled to have stability, you're compassionate, and that opportunity for a new beginning, relationship, life force. They're gaining clarity. It's God's who you are. Teach history. So they want you to teach them history. They want you to teach them the knowledge, how to be able to look at yourself and gain that understanding. Look at your hidden skills and how you're going to project yourself out there and out oversee you in the world and in public. Because are you being compassionate? Are you inspiring other people to be able to grow? Looking at like moral compass and knowing right from wrong, and don't idolize what other people have got. Be inspired, because that's where you get your inspiration from. But when you use your own creative skills, and don't do it in a bad way to be able to block people, because you only end up blocking yourself. And then it happens for so long. You can have that joy in that for so long, and then the Most High gives you a spiritual box and makes you sit down, and then you've got to reflect back to yourself and then grow. Because that's a part of the transformation. Bring in Pluto. That's when you don't know, and you're Plutoing down and you lock in procrastinating low. So you got to grow. Why? Because it's fear and it's addictions, what you're holding on to. And it's only yourself, your self-esteem, confidence. You don't got no boundaries. You're not able to be able to communicate. You lie, chat shit. So then you have to start speaking the truth, because that's balancing, discernment. Because it will give you stress and it will hurt your head and it's conflict. So then it starts making you speak the truth because it connects to your heart. And then it makes you want to fart, because then you have to let go and encompass, and that's you analysing, recognising, refining, restoring, having the balance, grounding yourself, putting that money and the spiritual, and looking at your possessions, and then look at the mental and your emotional, and you're connecting, and you have to keep that balance. Otherwise, you're going to go doctors, because you're not being indecisive and you're not whole within your mind. Take it all as it resonates. So you have a tower moment. That's where the breaking point happens. So they're having this tower moment because of the breaking point, and then they want you to be able to teach them how to get through. That's Ephra, because that's that meaning, it's that sense, it's like your goal and that purpose of life, or even that essence. That's when you're fighting through those struggles and you have to look at the benefits, what's beneficial for you. The real lesson, the moral of the story was, I was addicted and I was confused because I had these illusions and I was idealistic, holding on for jealousy, I had these secrets, wanting assets and loans and fighting. My partner was fighting me for assets and I was trying to hold on to a property but wasn't really mine, and I was trying to sign for these goods and I was doing fraud, illegal things, fighting, taking drugs, misleading in that wrong direction. Then I had to get myself back because that was that essence, and it's your life, it's those stages, it's presenting it to you, it's drama and dharma and karma. So they're seeing about the cycles, and that's that wrong advice what they got, because the consequences for sinning, committing adultery, lying, stealing, robbery, all the 7 deadly sins. They're looking now because it's that. You have to ask him to grant you that serenity to accept the things you cannot change and give you that discernment, that wisdom, the courage with inside of you, that you creative skills, that confidence to continuously keep going. Because those who led you into temptation, you didn't lead that way. You went to a different way. Yeah, but you had to lean on your own inner standing. That's when you had to go into hermit and get that wisdom. You had to grow. You had to know that no matter what, you're not going to get led through those deep waters, but you're going to have to go through those emotions because it's a dark night of the soul, but it's not going to make you drown. And when you go down, you get awakening, and that's a part of your testimony. Okay, I had this relationship and I used to roll with these people, and when I used to go to school and when I was at university, and how these people treated me, and one of them lied and one of them caused confusion, one of them put an illusion in there. That's because they had these habits. They said that you said that I did and you did and they did, but they went to Sarah and they went to Tom, and Tom went to Tom and Dick and Harry, and Harry came back to Sally, and Sally lied that you was in the alley fucking with Barry, and Barry was fucking with Sally, and you took Sally's baby father and baby father's sisters, cousins. Do you know that they're related to that? And their mum knew because they seen them with them, and their auntie knew because when they walked past that direction and they came in that way, they knew. And when I was out socialising, oh yeah, I see them that way. Oh, I didn't know that person had all that elf. Oh, I've got that elf issue. Oh, I didn't know it. Right. This is all because of bad mind energy. Right? And when you beggy, want it, now get it. And when get it, want it, gets it, they don't want it. Right? Because they're exhausted now because of the foundation. She wasn't connected to those emotions, or because of illusions and habits. And now they're looking at the way that they feel because it's returning. Speak up. Now they want to be able to come and speak up towards you because they believe in their voice, and it's second chances, opportunities, and making amends. So somebody's going to want to be able to come and speak up towards you because they're seeing these money moves. They're resistant. They're resistant to the feeling because that's a secret admirer. Could be coming to speak up towards you now because they can see you speaking clear. They're having this conflict now because they're all clear. Time to call it, and that was chasing, and that's clashing those differences. You see, it's incompatibility now. That beggy girl. That 13, that's that death, karmic energy, endings. That's when you're connecting, looking at the structures, because you was chasing thrills and upgrade, excited, good times. You're letting go because they was very shallow, and they didn't even know how to look, because even people, when they was around people, they lied and had surgery, so they was fake. And now it's that breaking point, so they can see those around people that was fake, they got cloned. Now they're having this breaking point because it's a spiritual awakening when you have to really look down. I can't help but give advice, so they want to be able to speak. They may be wanting your speaking. Don't think I can, not today. So you can't do that. You might not be able to block you or stop you now. Now you need to get, they're wanting inspiration, they're wanting change because they're transforming. They're looking, how am I going to grow, because I want to gain this inner wisdom. They may need your teaching skills. They may see you as a guru. They may see you're enabled to have stability, you're compassionate, and that opportunity for a new beginning, relationship, life force. They're gaining clarity. It's to God's who you are. Teach history. So they want you to teach them history. They want you to teach them the knowledge, how to be able to look at yourself and gain that understanding. Look at your hidden skills and how you're going to project yourself out there and out oversee you in the world and in public. Because are you being compassionate? Are you inspiring other people to be able to grow? Looking at like moral compass and knowing right from wrong, and don't idolize what other people have got. Be inspired, because that's where you get your inspiration from. But when you use your own creative skills, and don't do it in a bad way to be able to block people, because you only end up blocking yourself. And then it happens for so long. You can have that joy in that for so long, and then The Most High gives you a spiritual box and makes you sit down, and then you've got to reflect back to yourself and then grow. Because that's a part of the transformation, bringing Pluto. That's when you don't know and you're Plutoing down and you lock in procrastinating low. So you got to grow. Why? Because it's fear and it's addictions, what you're holding on to. And it's only yourself, your self-esteem, confidence. You don't got no boundaries. You're not unable to be able to communicate. You lie, chat shit. So then you have to start speaking the truth, because that's balancing, discernment. Because it will give you stress and it will hurt your head and it's conflict. So then it starts making you speak the truth because it connects to your heart. And then it makes you want to fart, because then you have to let go and encompass, and that's you analysing, recognising, refining, restoring, having the balance, grounding yourself, putting that money and the spiritual, and looking at your possessions, and then look at the mental and your emotional, and you're connecting, and you have to keep that balance. Otherwise, you're going to go doctors, because you're not being indecisive and you're not whole within your mind. Take it all as it resonates. So you have a tower moment. That's where the breaking point happens. So they're having this tower moment because of the breaking point, and then they want you to be able to teach them how to get through. That's Ephra, because that's that meaning, it's that sense, it's like your goal and that purpose of life, or even that essence. That's when you're fighting through those struggles and you have to look at the benefits, what's beneficial for you. The real lesson, the moral of the story was, I was addicted and I was confused because I had these illusions, and I was idealistic, holding on through jealousy, I had these secrets, wanting assets and loans, and fighting. My partner was fighting me for assets, and I was trying to hold on to a property but wasn't really mine, and I was trying to side for these goods, and I was doing fraud, illegal things, fighting, taking drugs, misleading in that wrong direction. Then I had to get myself back, because that was that essence, and it's your life, it's those stages, it's presenting it to you, it's drama and dharma and karma. So they're seeing about the cycles, and that's that wrong advice what they got, because the consequences for sinning, committing adultery, lying, stealing, robbery, all the 7 deadly sins. They have to look now, because it's the people, your kids, the benefits, and that's like the person. You have to look and where you are now, and looking at the hospitals. You could be even needing like help or support. Somebody could have gotten unalived. Take it all as it resonates. That's when you have to look at your lifestyle, because that's drama free and you're moving. They're having stress because that's conflict, because that's when you have to look. So they're like Arthara, because they're thinking now, or because of wrong advice, consequences, sins to actions. So now they maybe want to be able to call me burnt offerings, because they're having that realization now. They're having that divine guidance. So it says bosses, clients, supposed to be a party, drinking, trying to quit, challenges, friends, and thinking it was like a day not having a beer, and it was like having not drunk that to go to the hospital. All I was like, just wanted to have a drink. So they could have been out partying, ended up in the hospital because of the alcohol, mashed up their stomach, and it was about the lifestyle. They said they're not drinking, no longer want to be able to drink. And then in a stand, they've got one girl and another one pregnant, and they've got these consequences because of the reputation now, because they was around beggy people. Now they're wanting money for shopping. This beggy girl in that energy, and they're trying to get the all clear, because it's time to clear it now, because they're looking for a better way. And they will take them to court for the child support, a baby mum, a friend, a karmic, was grass, was never greener on the other side. And they will never experience this. They need a great teacher because of the lessons or the painfulness, because of this Jezebel was rebelling, and she needs a man. They need to be able to express that, because that bump, they knew about a pregnancy. So they maybe want to be able to tell you this beggy girl, they've got conflict, they're bankrupt because they've got these money, and every minute just robbing out their money, needing their money because of I need it for this, I need clothes, I need nappy, I'm getting big and fat and now I need some clothes, oh my god, but I'm your baby mother and I need to look good, oh I need food, oh I need some shopping, oh I need a bit of rent and I can't afford this. I don't want to risk using the card again. So that's the CEO. Money. Chasing thrills and then having a blood clot money. I got feelings for someone. Their feeling might not be. They may be grateful, vulnerable. They're grateful. And they're feeling that feeling towards you. They've got feelings towards you. So they're having this high awakening, because it's that Cupid. It's connecting now. That's that deep challenge they're facing, because it's returning. They want to speak about this inner standing now, because they had confusions. And let go. Love. Letting go of the past, loved ones. The door is open for new possibilities. You are holding on to relationships. Release it. and you will find peace and that potential for new love. So you spoke up, you got that understanding. They maybe want to return towards you because they're having conflicts because of these confusions and the illusions about this child and who's got pregnant and how they've got to pay off all these bills. They're gaining this introspection because of these confusions. They're getting this higher clarity. They maybe want to be able to speak because they're gaining introspection about things that happened in the dark. People was blocking, now they're praying because certain people are getting higher clarity in regards to what certain people did. They could have been fake high priestesses and pretending that they was worthy and they was taking action in the unknown. It says confusion is temporary and leads to clarity. Are you feeling lost? Slow down. Be patient and allow clarity to emerge. So they're slowing down now because that's conflicts and differences. They just wanted to be able to call and keep it all clear. Time to call it. So they're having time to call it about this deposit in this bank and who deposited what into this account now because it's beggy girl. And they're looking at that spirit because that's that ecstasy feel, thrills. A power of your spirit is always there. Quality supporting you. When they're thinking that they was having this status upgrade, you had to have yours because you have that higher clarity, awakening. You've seen those feathers from the divine. They need cleansing of their mind now because they're gaining introspection. All about these things that was in the unknown, about this property and this house. Take it all as it resonates. O could be significant. They could be saying, oh, really? Now I'm getting higher clarity in regards to who, where, what, when. There could be 4 people there. You've got your spiritual guides, your ancestors divinely guiding you for that stability. You've got clarity of mind, healing thoughts, feelings, because that's that spirit to support you. If you're lost, take time to be able to listen to your inner voice. That's looking for meditation. Don't hate, analyze, to reflect. It's that out-of-door activities, because those simple out-of-door activities can even reconnect you with that inner strength. So when you're outside, you can see that strength. They're gaining introspection about these family members and friends. They're gaining high clarity. They may be gaining strength now, getting brave. They can see you're brave. You're moving forward because you're stronger than you even realise. About these soul contracts, it's intense. So they're feeling these intense feelings in regards to this soul contracts. Embracing. So they're now embracing what they have in store. It's a destiny. So it's a part of that cycle. That's what you got to encompass. They're looking and saying it's true love. They're practicing now because they're looking at this attraction and they can see the attraction in regards towards you. Surprise. They maybe wanted to be able to come and surprise you and say, stepping up, raising up to the bird, higher self. They're stepping up, raising up to that bird, higher self, higher clarity, higher mind. For whole away, 144, chosen, petals, awakened, spiritual, highness. I motivated you. You didn't motivate me. You replaced problems. You did the things you did. Now I'm comfortable with questions. Who, not, and I was before. So you're comfortable. You're not the same person who you was before. The inner standing, you're speaking up. They're returning now. That's that love. Let go. Love. They can't even look you in your face. There's beggar girl, the family members, your friends. They can't even look you in your face. The masculines. Take it all as it resonates because I got bare male friends. I know how you roll. Cheat and chat about bare things. So they cheat and they chat about bare things. You know you got male friends when they go around beggy girl. Hawaiian fish, naturally waxed oil. Top shelf spirit. So you're like a Hawaiian fish. You're a top shelf spirit. White tuna. Pure clarity of mind. Woola. It says, have you wished but thought you couldn't get it? Faith, active, helper, good person, kind, caring, what you missing? Bullies make you not want to succeed. Home, where the heart is, lack of compassion, care or support from family. Hide emotions, so they could be hiding their emotions, didn't have lack of support, compassion from family. And they're now looking because of the choices in life to be able to make a life of challenging decisions. Everyone having fun, party, people, things, your boys, they're looking now because it's a spiritual part. You're looking to be able to look for that supported lifestyle, enjoying, to be able to live a lot and settle down and being supported, not a bad thing. They're looking at that best of years now, the best self. They want to be able to connect back to your inner wisdom to be able to learn, to grow. So they can see now they're listening to the spirit to be able to connect to their inner wisdom, to be able to learn, to grow. Take it all as it resonates. Please Just like it, share it to somebody else, because we're shadow banned and people don't want you to have this understanding about these illusions, the confusions. You having that balance of mind, love yourself, gain wisdom, grow, higher clarity, speak. That's you nurturing, having speaking the truth, knowing about boundaries when it's needed to, have that wholeness, discernment, higher clarity, balance. Don't be indecisive. And you know that certain people are now taking action because they want to be able to come towards you and give you love now, let you know this shit.